Knockout legends in the building. Like, comment, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about Eddie Hearn, and he comes on to Talksport with Gareth A. Davis and Spencer Oliver, and he reveals possible opponents for Anthony Joshua's next fight while he waits for the so-called big fights. So with no further ado, I'm going to play the clip.
That's what I got to say.
Eddie, what sort of opponents are you looking at for Anthony Joshua? I mean, Zhang was a name that you'd mentioned before. Is that someone that's a possibility?
I think it's a good fight. I mean, we looked at Zhang before. If there was an offer to do that fight in Beijing or to look at that fight in the UK, I think it makes sense. You know, a lot of the guys that we've talked about before, Philip Hrgovic, Otto Warlin, there's a lot happening in the IBF at the moment. AJ could be in line for a world title shot for that fight in the new year as well. Cabel, who's been mentioned, you know, we appreciate it won't be a mega fight, but he's okay with that. He wants to get back in the ring and keep himself active while he waits for those mega fights. You know, really, there's two fights that AJ needs to have before he retires, and that's Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Sure.
And, you know, for me, I think he has to have those fights next year. And that's the plan. But what he's not going to do is be inactive like a lot of these guys. You look at Deontay Wilder, he hasn't boxed in over a year. And that was a 45-second blowout in his last fight. You know, Andy Ruiz, these kind of guys, they're fighting like once a year. So I think if AJ can box 3 times in 9 months, I think that's good for his career.
So from the clip there, we get a lot to unpack. I did a video on this prior to this. If you have a chance to check it out, I was saying that Anthony Joshua should fight Zhang, and he has been mentioned as a possible opponent for Anthony Joshua because they fought in the amateurs and Joshua being in the amateurs. I think it was on the run up to the Olympic gold that Joshua won. Anyway, this is a good fight. Zhang has actually progressed a lot more, and he's gotten on in age a bit, and he's got fast hands. He's got power, can take a shot. The only thing is, will he gas? Does he have the stamina to deal with Joshua? Because Joshua can move. So if Joshua moves around the ring, will Zhang be able to tag him, to hit him, with him being a mobile target? Now, the next question we need to ask is, can Joshua take a shot off Zhang? Now, everyone keeps saying Anthony Joshua's gun shy, he's got a weak chin, he's got a glass chin, this, that, and the other, but the only person really that's actually hurt Anthony Joshua really is Andy Ruiz. And each time he got dropped by Andy Ruiz in the first fight, that was down to basically incompetence. Also, he did say he had some kind of illness or impediment, but he didn't actually clarify or go on to talk about actually what it was. And he was the first person to drop Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz had never been dropped prior to that. So if that version of AJ can drop Andy Ruiz, but he got stopped by him, is Zhang, in comparison, better than that version of Andy Ruiz? Well, from the Joyce fight, the first one and the second one, it would seem it's possible, but styles make fights, and Zhang's over 300 pounds. He's a big guy and he can move. So it's a question of if the best version of Zhang turns up, and can Joshua deal with that southpaw style and be mobile enough to not get hit, to basically tire Zhang out, to knock him out or beat him on points. I don't know, it remains to be seen, but I'd have to see the fight to actually give my honest opinion. And AJ has no to, if any, head movement, so Zhang probably would be able to hit him. I don't think he'd waste a lot of shots, and he would actually be able to hit him. But the thing is will Joshua be able to take that power? Because power's relative in each heavyweight, it's different. So, you know, Joyce, everyone kept going on about Joyce's granite chin, is this, that, and the other. When he just wore opponents down and took as many shots as he could until he eventually beat them. So he didn't do that with Daniel Dubois. He actually respected Daniel Dubois and took his time, and then just boxed him and used the jab to win that fight. Now, arguably the tactics in the first fight with Zhang were wrong, and the second fight he tried to match him for size when we know that wouldn't actually work, because he's going to slow Joyce down, and Joe's not the fastest anyway. Yeah, he is athletic and he has got agility, but he is kind of a bit one-dimensional in his style and predictable. So that's tailor-made for Zhang. But Anthony Joshua's different. So the Anthony Joshua that fought Ruiz and the rematch turns up against Zhang, I don't think Zhang would win. But I don't know if Anthony Joshua would cut that much weight to be that mobile. It remains to be seen. So it depends on the best version of which fighter turns up to fight the fight that they need to fight to win that fight. But anyway, another opponent that got mentioned was AJ Cabel. That's not really a big fight, and it's not really a good fight. I think he was a former European champion. I'd have to check his box rec to see what his stats are, but it's not a big fight. And I think at this late in the game, Joshua needs to be fighting better opponents than that, to be fair. So I don't know about that, but like, I suppose any fight is better than no fight, and I think it's just a case of getting someone to tick over. So he's 23-0, he's got 15 KOs, he's German, and he's fought Chisora, he's beat Chisora, he's beat Andre Rudenko, Kevin Kingpin Johnson, Pavel Sauer, and that's about it for names that I can actually mention that of any note that we know. But from that resume, I think Joshua should be able to beat him. But you never know, styles make fights. So the guy is 6'3", pretty big dude. So it's a good, solid heavyweight. I don't know if it's a credible opponent, but like I said, Joshua should be fighting better opponents in this late in his career. But he wants to fight 3 times within the 9 months and keep busy because all the other heavyweights are not being busy. And that's the problem with the heavyweight division. Everyone's either pricing themselves out so they don't have to fight anyone, and everyone wants to fight the best fight they can for the most money with the least risk. And it's just risk aversion now. It's like I don't even know what it's like. It's just basically, it's not good. It's kind of making heavyweight boxing stagnant and stale. It's kind of spoiling the matchups. At least people like Joyce and Zhang, gave us a decent bout. And I think the lower divisions are kind of taking back over heavyweight boxing because them guys are fighting and just fighting whoever they need to fight, to be competitive, to win the fight. So, but anyway, what Eddie Hearn was saying about the broadcasters and the fans, it's true, the fans won't pay for certain fights because it's just a waste of time, it's a waste of money. And obviously, with Showtime pulling out, people are not going to waste the time and money if there's no money in the matchups. You can't just put on any matchup with any matchup and then expect people to run out and to buy it if it's not going to be a competitive fight or they don't even get any kind of buzz or excitement from it. You need something that's there that's going to either sell the fight, and the fighter needs to actually have something about him so the person that they're putting him up against can actually say, well, look, this is a tough fight, But it remains to be seen. The Wardley versus Adelia fight, that looks like a good heavyweight bout. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the Regis Prograis and Devin Haney fight. That's another good fight, but it's not heavyweight. This is what I'm saying. The little guys are overshadowing the big guys, and they're fighting. They're actually fighting. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, do you think these are 2 good opponents for Joshua to fight? And how do you think he would fare if he fights either of them? So leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. And that is another one from Knockout Legends. Peace.